That part I perfectly understand. You know, and
that's straight out of Aleister Crowley's, that's straight out of the Book of the Law. I mean, that's their Bible right there.
I know.
That's their religion.
I understand where you're coming from, you know? I do know that you come from that world. And, you know, we all do live in that world. I mean, laws are an illusion, you know?
What is it? Bush called it the law of the jungle.
Yeah.
Back.
It's, you know, all we can really do is align with God and hope for the best. Because if we're fighting for the right side, we should be good either way. You know, like that's what I'm going for here.
Then there's a side to it that's like, okay, what's your favorite version of the Bible? Probably the King James version. Okay, so that was written by King James and his scholars, correct? So
yes, correct.
Wouldn't it behoove a king to want to control his people, and wouldn't religion do that perfectly?
You're preaching to the choir.
So I mean, it's just like, even if you do believe in something, there's always that contingency that's like, oh yeah, well, this is another Luciferian thing we all just made up so that, you know, you stuck in your whole goodness fucking trap or whatever.
Yeah, but if you're talking to me, I'm talking about personal connection. I'm not talking about Masonic literature.
Right.
I think you know that. We don't need we don't need any of that.
And it's crazy because now, and I even say that, and what is it? Now all these video games now, they're all just putting these videos online about like, here's how we looted one of the biggest bases on this game, and it's all these loot. It's like showing people how to do it. It's like, hey, you got to keep a lookout, you got to do this, and then you got to make sure you throw a rock at the door, make sure no one answers, like get the ladders, like all this shit. And it's like, yeah, they're training people how just to be scavengers because that's their future. It's a pretty grim world, but I've been in a pretty dark space the past couple of weeks.
It's also their past. I mean, this memoir that I've been reading, I mean, they just were constantly robbing Napoleon.
Yeah.
Constantly robbing him. It was so sad.
To the point where it's just like, you know, they'll take your shoelaces. Even if
it was like that, yeah.
Ripped.
It was like that.
And, you know, it's just shameless.
Right, they were just robbing everything from him.
And that's the other side of it, because people are like, you know, I want to be rich and powerful. And it's like, what good is it to be rich and powerful in this shitty, evil world? Like, how do you want to be powerful over evil dickheads? Like, what power is that even? That's not power of manipulation.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's the other side to it, is like all these assholes who do have all these, you know, pirated coffers and all these modern day pirates out there. Yeah. They have to actually trust people. There's people out there that they have to trust in order to get by. And with their predisposition of who they are and what they believe, they're destined to fail because there's absolutely no trust. There's no loyalty.
Okay.
Because people would just rape and rob each other at a drop of a hat if they knew they'd get away with it.
Absolutely.
So their whole mechanism, the whole operation that they have, is always just going to downward spiral. It's always just going to be a Tower of Babel that just collapses.
I agree. I totally agree. That's why I don't advocate joining their side.
Right. Thinking of confronting Lloyd Kaufman.
I could
get him on the phone and record it and just start screaming at him about Rant and Ryan.
Well, this whole thing has been very interesting with Choma, because are they using it for publicity? And I do think so.
I thought they were trying to just call me a pedophile.
They are trying to call.
They're just trying to say that I work for pedophiles.
They are. They were doing that.
That's my whole. Whole story, man.
They were totally doing that.
That's what it is. And then now that he's like, blah 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 blah, he quickly mentioned my story because. That's how those other fucking Luciferians work. Is like, they could say that they did something, but now that he did that, he's like, I totally covered your story when I said, you know, that kind of shit.
Okay.
So, like, he's pulling some kind of trick that he thinks is working,
but it did. But it backfired big time. Totally, it backfired like crazy. Listen, they would have all come for you if that had not backfired on him so badly. Seriously, everybody hated him for what he did to you. Whatever last shred of credibility he had went out the window. And that's why nobody else came for you, Ben.
Yeah.
Only because it blew up in Brian's face.
Yeah.
Oh, and it did. That guy's...
Well, that's the side to it, because it seems like everyone has stepped forward, because you can't prove that, they can't prove that I'm lying. They just can't do it.
No, they can't prove that you're lying.
There's no way that like, by now, if someone was going to trip me up, it would have fucking happened by now. And they know that, too. That's
the problem. You have, 6 months on your side now. You're telling this wild story, and no one can poke a hole in it.
Yeah.
It's the same old thing. They play two sides, and someone's got to play that side. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got to tell you all this. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is about OG, Juan Kenobi. Somebody tried to unveil Vegan Mikey 2.0. Another hard luck SRA story for a drug addict. Okay?
Yeah.
And this was This is by a peripheral member of the OG crew. And the guy, the meth head, was like, "Oh, I'm a victim," and smile, smile. And then Wanda, who was the one that's always on their Discord, always in their comments, obviously working for them, was like, "Oh, you have terrible problems, right? And the government's after you, right?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, right." Okay, so in the live stream, this person named Kickstand, have you heard of her?
Did she have glasses?
No. And on this live stream, Kickstand was saying, "This is fake." She started calling it out. Okay? It was fake. And then everybody in the live stream, perhaps because Kickstand started them off, we're all like, "This is fake." Fine. Next thing, one of them started saying, "How could you say something about my mother?" And did the whole "how dare you" move, and became furious at this person Kickstand. Okay? And then the whole OG group got together and started to attack her for calling out this obvious Vegan Mikey 2 scam. And then OG did a video saying that Kickstand is a snake. She does transvestigations, and that's stupid. She does guppy videos, and that's stupid. He doesn't want anything to do with horrible people like her. He did this total hit piece on Kickstand, okay? And he had nothing. Nothing, okay? Now, all these people turned on OG, okay? And why... my point is they all closed ranks when one of them tried to start another Vegan Mikey scam. And now they're exposed. That's the story. Yeah. OG's exposed now.
Just like I said, I'm in bot world, I guess. It just seems like...
well, you're in bot world because these are...
Here's the thing where I feel like sometimes...
These are fake fights.
I wouldn't be surprised if I was sitting there for years just typing out a computer, and then I go to look and they're the internet's not even hooked up, or the thing's not even plugged in or something.
All right. I do think your internet is plugged in, and I do think it has been. All I'm saying is people see that is another fake crew, and it's out. And I'm, whether you like or believe Kickstand or not, she was the mechanism of exposing that. Okay, just like when Ryan went after you, Ryan exposed himself and his crew again. It's a similar mechanism there.
Well, that's the thing. He used to do all these videos where he'd be, hanging out with his lady and everything was cool. And, now it's just taking this weird turn where it's just you look and everything's all dark and he's just lonely and white. Whiter than usual.
Yes, it's true.
And it's just what's going on?
Yeah, it's just things have taken a turn.
Maybe it's an act, but who knows? I gotta wrap this thing up here.
All right.
I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, okay. Well, nice talking to you. And
it was good to talk to you. Thanks for talking with me.
Yeah, hope you feel better.
I'm working on it.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.